Welcome back to the Coach Momentum podcast. It's Karen Capello. Today we're going to talk about the most valuable asset in your coaching business. I'd like to ask you a question. If I asked you what that most valuable asset is, what would you say? Would you say your website or your certifications, your LinkedIn profile maybe, your coaching methodology, your email list? Those are all valuable. Yet I don't think they're your greatest asset. I believe your greatest business asset is something you've already spent years building. Want to know what it is? Your relationships. When I look back over more than 20 years of coaching, almost every meaningful opportunity began with a relationship. A former colleague introduced me, or a past client recommended me. Or maybe someone remembered a conversation we'd had for years. Or a leader changed companies and reached back out. In fact, my first two clients were those I had known for a decade. One was actually living in my home while her divorce was being finalized, and the other was a lawyer who was a very close friend I had been introduced to 10 years earlier. Very few opportunities appeared because someone randomly found my website. That's an important data point. As coaches, we spend enormous amounts of time trying to reach new people. We post on social media, we redesign our websites, we search for the perfect headline. We wonder, do we need another certification? Meanwhile, we often overlook hundreds of people who already know us, people who've worked with us, who've trusted us, who've watched our leadership, and people who already believe we're someone worth talking to. In fact, a New York Times article reported that the average American knows about 600 people, according to researchers at Columbia University. And I bet that's true for others in the world too. And in addition to that, most coaches are not average and have a much bigger network than even 600. Think about it. Trust is expensive to build. Most businesses spend years trying to earn it, and you've already earned it with many people. It's sitting in your network, waiting for an invitation to a conversation, that trust. One of the biggest mindset shifts I made was realizing that business development wasn't about convincing people, it was about reconnecting with people. When someone already knows your character, your work ethic, your expertise, the conversation begins in a completely different place. You're not introducing yourself, you're continuing a relationship, and really that's much easier and much more enjoyable. Now, that doesn't mean every person you know will become a client. They won't. But some will become referral partners or connectors. Some introduce you to others in organizations. Some simply remind you why you started this work. Every relationship has value beyond an immediate enrollment. And I think many coaches underestimate just how much business is built through trusted relationships, especially executive coaches. Corporate leaders hire people they trust. Organizations hire people who come recommended. Decision makers ask other leaders, who have you worked with? At a leadership level, most business is done by referral. This happens to me all the time. When my hairdresser left town decades ago, I asked my close friends and colleagues, who do you go to? When I was looking for an accountant after mine retired, I asked them who they used to do their taxes. And I've gotten so many questions from my colleagues and others, friends in town, who do you use for whatever? Your relationships become your reputation in motion. And here's something I'd encourage you to think about this week. Instead of asking, how do I reach more people? Ask, who already knows the quality of me and my work? That's a different question. Make a list. And I'm going to give you some prompts now. Who are those former colleagues, former bosses, clients? And let's go even further, professional associations, conference connections, people you've admired, people you've helped. Simply begin reaching out with no agenda. We know how to do this. Oh, except maybe an agenda of genuine curiosity. Some conversations won't lead anywhere today, but others might surprise you. I've learned that opportunities often arise when I least expect it. I remember I went to a breakfast meeting when I was a brand new coach, and I was sitting between two women. The woman on my right was a financial planner, and I had just come out of that financial planning industry. And the woman on my left had a small manufacturing company, and I had been president of a manufacturing company, but not for a few years. If I had to predict, I would have said the financial planner would have hired me. That's not what happened. The small manufacturing company the woman who was president of that hired me, and not only that, went on to add $90,000 to the bottom line of her business within 4 months when we were working together. So when you least expect it, I've learned this over the years. Most of these opportunities, though, begin with a simple conversation, which is what I had at that breakfast. It wasn't about a marketing campaign or a complicated funnel. It was just me talking to another person. That's the good news. That's a real asset in your coaching business. Not your content or your branding, although both have their place in business development. The real asset is your relationships. If this episode made you think of someone you've been meaning to reconnect with, don't wait. Send the email, make the call. You never know what one conversation can begin. And if you're listening to this before August 10th, I'd love to invite you to join me for our complimentary 5-day conversation sprint. Together, we're going to reconnect with our networks, create meaningful conversations, and discover new opportunities that may already be closer than we think. You can learn more at KarenCapello.com. Until next time, keep creating momentum.